Hello. If you are a student of history, one of the cycles you must have observed is that the guys who changed things, the guys who, figured out new things, the people who actually made an impact, the people who worked in purpose, they all came to the scene and found out that everybody had already assumed the place. They came to the scene and they found out that there were people who were papas. They found out that there were people who already had positions. There were the technical people and there were leaders in each of these industries. When they chose the industry or the part of life where they wanted to make their own impact, where they felt they were gifted, when they chose that part and started working there, to make their own impact, they had to cause some disturbance. They had to cause some disruption. They had to do something. Not that they deliberately did this, but in their discovery, in study, in applying themselves, they found something that didn't make sense. And instead of leaving it alone, they decided to start picking on that matter. They became very curious. They are the ones that asked questions about things that, questions should not be asked about. They sometimes were the ones who entered into places where every other person had agreed, no, don't touch those things. Their curiosity and their zeal and their passion led them to first become nuisances before they found out something, worked on that thing, and continued. This is not a sanction to go make trouble, but it is an encouragement that as you start out on the path of that which you are gifted, if you were going to make big impact, you are first going to start causing some troubles. This is an encouragement that when you come across those troubles, the proper response is not to shy away from them. If it will not allow you sleep well at night, maybe that's a trouble that has your name on it. It's an encouragement that if at every turn you find out that there is something that you need to do, yet the status quo has labeled everybody or anybody who tries going into that way as a troublemaker, but this trouble has your name on it, you need to go for it. Otherwise, you sell your birthright to someone else, who God is going to burden with that trouble. I'm just saying that there's a trouble with your name on it, and if there is an impact for you to make, if there is a bigger purpose, sis, you have to go through it. You cannot go and everywhere you meet issues or you meet problems or it looks like someone is going to talk about you, you turn around. That's not how you are going to do this thing which you were supposed to do, right? The first thing is that find this issue, and if it continues to bother you, continue tinkering at it. Keep going back at it. If we are all supposed to be the same, then one of us is not needed. If you come to the scene and you are doing things exactly like I would do it, then one of us is not needed. So don't shy away from your trouble, right? If there is trouble to be made in your name, if there is trouble that has your name written on it, look, go go and make that trouble, right? But when you go ahead and make the trouble, expect resistance. There's a way we treat troublemakers. We don't smile at troublemakers. We don't tell troublemakers, oh, well done. What do we do with troublemakers? We attack them back. We inform them that, excuse me, this territory has already been taken. We inform them that we do not want you in this space. You know what? Take your trouble and go elsewhere. There are already established people in this fair, and those established people are going to come and say, look, this is the way we have been doing this thing. Leave it alone. What I also want to encourage you on is that if this bothers you, if you receive light in this area, if this is something that you feel you must do in that particular sphere, then you will be graced for it. The troubles will come, but it will not swallow you. We will know if you are graced for it. I think my encouragement today is to troublemakers. If you are graced for a specific kind of trouble, the issues on that topic will continue annoying you. Every time somebody says something that you feel this is not correct, you are going to feel the need to step up and say something or prove something. And if it worries you like that, don't shy away. But don't cry like the whole world is against you. You should know that every time you step out to go change what has already been, there is going to be resistance. This resistance should be expected. This resistance should be dealt with. Okay, you will have room, you will have space to accommodate it. All right, but while you anticipate the resistance, while you know that it is coming, it's not in your portfolio that you must stay and fight, because you have a lot to do, especially if you are to cause disruption in this space, especially if you are to, let me tell you what's going to happen. The resistance I'm talking about is that a lot of people are going to be like, but why didn't I see that before? But why didn't I notice that before? In fact, I have tried that before, but it didn't work, and so it's not going to work. And so instead of them to wait for you to try it so that it does not work, they are going to go and raise a propaganda so that you are stopped, so that, God forbid, it works in your hands. You understand? Because if you do it and it works, it means you have declared them a failure, and they can't live with that. And so they are going to become the opposition so that it does not work in their hand, because you making it to work is the same thing as you proclaiming to everyone that they failed. But they could have failed because the timing was just not right. They could have failed because the environment was just not right. But people hold those things dear. They hold those things to heart, and they can't let you win where they failed. That is why you're going to have resistance. So even though you expect this resistance, your role is not to fight the resistance, because you don't have time. Remember, you have a mission, right? You are disrupting an area. There is this thing you are doing now, and so you should be preoccupied with that thing. You do not have time to stop and answer every naysayer. You don't have time to stop to correct them or to make excuses or to get them on your side. You must be busy doing other things. And let me tell you, these people might be in the same department with you. They might be in the same church setting with you. They might be, people who ordinarily should be mothers, people who you look forward to. And they might summon you, right? When that happens, find a reason to make that meeting as short as possible. All I'm thinking about is a quick apology. An apology which does not mean that you are going to give up your vision, but you really owe them an apology in the way this thing hurts them. You have to find a way to minimize the impact of the fight, because any attempt to defend, to explain, to show them, to convince them is not going to be accepted until after you have shown that way to be true. Nobody has time to listen to you to be right. Remember, their minds are already made up by their experiences. And so when this resistance comes, you must remember that your role is not to fight. You do not have time to fight. You do not have time to explain to the understanding of everyone, right? If you can explain to a few people trust you, fine. But what you must be doing while this resistance is happening is that you must be doing more of what you feel called to do. Okay, let's look at the story of Isaac in Genesis 26. Isaac came to the town of Gerar, and there was a famine, and Isaac dug a well. So when they say there is famine, what you should be thinking about is that there is no water. There is drought. It means that people who are digging wells, there is no water. So why are you digging, Isaac? Why are you digging in a place where people have gone and found no water? Are you trying to say that they did not dig well, or that they did not dig deep? Are you trying to say that there is something on your hand that when you dig? Are you trying to say that there's something different about you? Are you trying to spite the people who have dug before you? But Isaac's servants dug. I don't know what technology they had. Of course, we know that Isaac had the blessing on him. But they must have known something that prompted them to start digging. If it was easy that anybody could dig and find water, I don't think there would have been so much fight about the particular wells that Isaac dug, right? Because as soon as he dug and found water, the people came and said, no, this well was originally ours. They claimed that particular well, and he had to go dig another one just to show them that there was something on him that caused water to appear. And so when the resistance came, he could have said, on this one we die. This well that I dug, this well that belonged to my father, he could have done that. But that would have been the end of his prosperity in that land. Instead, he moved from there, and he moved the second time. That's what you must be doing. The moment there is so much, issue, when there are so many issues around one topic, move on from there. Okay, when it looks like the war, the fight about one singular thing is too much, and they say, okay, you cannot do this. No, the last person, we have a policy, we cannot do this if you do. In fact, this is once the issue on that particular topic, on that particular project, once it becomes unbearable, move on and go and start another project. Moving on is a signal to everyone, but more importantly to yourself, that your faith is not on the topic. Your faith is not on this particular well. Your blessing is not coming from this particular project. The blessing is on you. And wherever else you go, you are going to find water. And so that is what to do. Your plan is not to stay and fight. Your plan is not to stay and defend. Your plan is not to stay and prove everybody that you are right. Your response is to go, find another spot, start digging. And what that means in the day-to-day activity is that pick up another project, right? The understanding is on you. The Spirit of God that makes everything clear is on you. And you are going to touch another topic and it's going to catch fire. You are going to pick up another project, and the same speed that is on you, right? It's going to come upon that one. You are going to get to another place, and because it's in you. But what you must keep doing is that you must keep moving and you must keep digging. Another story that comes to mind was I think it was Matthew chapter 27, and the Bible says that the chief priests and the elders gathered together and decided to kill Jesus. So that tells me that before Jesus was arrested, before Jesus made it to Pontius Pilate, the chief priests and the elders had decided that Jesus was to die. Of course, we know that Jesus' death was divine. He needed to die. He needed to get to the cross. But by the time we start coming down to the nitty-gritty on what exactly it was that led to the death, what did these people say he did, we can find out that the real engineers that decided that Jesus was to die, they were jealous. They were jealous that this guy came and he's preaching the same word that we have been preaching, like he has all the authority. He came and he does miracles. He dares to call himself the Son of God. Do you know what's happening there? In fact, somewhere in that same passage, the Bible says that Pontius Pilate knew that the reason those people wanted Jesus dead was because of jealousy. Now, the Bible, especially in the book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the Bible is reporting, what people saw, what the writers knew happened. So they are writing this in retrospect. And so when they say Pontius Pilate knew, it means that this person is reporting that Pontius Pilate actually knew that the reason they wanted Jesus dead was out of envy. The reason the people who have been around, the elders, the chief priests, all respect to them, the reason they want you out of the scene is because they've tried this, and you are coming and you are throwing a new flair on it. You are coming and you are doing it like it has never been done before. You are showing, you are almost fighting them. Right? Not because you are being disrespectful, but your very existence, doing things that could not have been done before, is a smirk on their face. And so when they come hating, the hate is real. When they decide that you are going to die, they will go as far as influencing the crowd to choose Barnabas instead. And so you already know this. But you know what? You must make your own trouble. You can't shy away from your own trouble. The trouble, the disruption you make, and the heat that comes with it is the price for impact. You should expect the two to go hand in hand. As you go in, you must shake the tables. You must turn the waters. Whatever truth you have found, shout it on the mountains. Prove it where it needs proving. Talk about it. Don't keep quiet about it. Text it out. Convince people. Okay? Auto-correct as you get new information, but don't lose your truth. That truth has been given to you to change your world. When you bring it out, there will be resistance, babe. And when that resistance comes, your response is to do another thing. Your response is to say another thing. Okay, keep submitting your mind to the spirit, but don't lose the trouble that is designed for you to make. Don't lose the disruption that has your name on it. You do that, that's your identity. That's what you've been called to do. You become, if you lose that, you become like one of the Joneses. There's no difference with you. Why are you here? Why did you get on the scene? What's your own place? Do we know you? What do we know you for? What we know you for is the disruption you bring to the table. Be intentional about your disruption. Because you're intentional about it, when the resistance that comes with it comes, you anticipated it. You are praying for grace, but you are making more disruptions. That is how we fight. All right. Bye-bye. Subscribe to this channel, guys. If you manage to watch to the end of this video, go and subscribe to my channel. It's about time. All right, people, take care.